Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's Market Wrap. So I am back in Philly, back in the studio. I had a great weekend watching the NFL draft. Everything was going great, and then the Eagles jumped the Giants and stole my receiver, Devonta Smith. Oh my God, it was an awful night. But the Giants bounced back. Well, I love Tony. I love the fact that we got Chicago's first pick next year. So it's time to start rooting against the Bears. Long term, I think we're going to be okay, but God, the Eagles killed us this week. So 3 watches came across my desk this week that I really love. And the first one is a CB, the Chronometre Bleu from Journe. Now, this is a piece that we're seeing fewer and fewer of. We had a long talk on Journe last week, but this is kind of one of the most iconic Journes. It's absolutely beautiful. Prices have gone crazy on this model, so I'm a little scared of the level of the pricing, but it's just a beautiful watch. Now, the second piece is an unusual one for us on Market Wrap. We don't spend a lot of time talking about Franck Muller, but if you think about it, Franck Muller was one of the first independent watchmakers. This particular one is the 8880 Crazy Hour. It's a cool tonneau-shaped, big size, and the numbers are all over the dial. You jumps around. It's just a very creative, it's what the best of Franck Muller did. I love this piece. It's great to see it in the house. And the last one we're going to talk about is the Rolex OP. Now, it was a big hit last year. I thought after 6 months, a year, we'd see these calm down. Just the opposite has happened. This particular one is the most desirable. It's the 41 millimeter in turquoise. We call it the Tiffany dial. I get to see this a lot because my wife actually wears this as her daily driver. I was a good husband last Christmas, and I love seeing this in the house, and I love seeing it on her. So this week, all the attention in the market is going to move to Geneva. So traditionally, we had 2 big seasons for auctions, and this starts Luxury Week this weekend. Starting on Saturday, we'll see all the spring watch sales. Now, we'll have over 1,000 watches hit the auction block in 4 days. I thought it would be fun to kind of review the sales, share what I'm looking for from these sales, and see what we love coming up with the auction this weekend. So with so many watches hitting the market at one time, there's possibilities for major moves in the market, both positive and negative. Auctions often set the market. A big result really sends the market. A failed result also slows down the market. So in the current watch market where prices are very high, it kind of all began last summer. So we were in mid-COVID last summer. We were basically all working from home. And in June, Philips had their first big sale. It had 215 lots, all came under the hammer, and in 2 days they had 100% sell-through. We also saw some huge results. We saw a Batman hammer for 25,000 Swiss francs, crazy number. We saw a couple of early Journes. One sold for 1,040,000 Swiss, one sold for 1.4 million Swiss, a whole new price level. We saw 5981R bring 250K. We saw the 5976 1G bring 487. Suddenly the watch market took a look and went, oh my God, these things are still selling, prices are higher than ever, and it sent us on this trajectory in the middle of COVID where prices have been moving up. So now we fast forward a year and the watch market is stronger than ever. We have 4 auctions to follow, and I'm going to hit some highlights from each sale. So Antiquorum is going off on Sunday. While they have over 500 units, there's only a few that really interest me. There's a lot of vintagey stuff, a lot of lower end pieces, but the first piece I want to look at is lot 184. It's a 5070 yellow gold, black dial, Patek Philippe. I love this reference. It's a classic 2-register chronograph. I think these are still undervalued. While everything else has really skyrocketed, these are kind of stayed the same. This is a great example of full set. I'll be curious to see where it goes. Now the second piece, lot 399, I'll be watching, it's a 5074R. Gorgeous perpetual calendar, 42 millimeter, an awesome example, estimate of 300 to 400. Now, a few years back, these things used to trade around 5. I'm curious to see if we're going to get back to that market. And the last piece in Antiquorum is lot 434, and it's a stainless steel Lange 1. Now, for a lot of years, people didn't think Lange had made stainless steel watches. They made a very small batch. Very few of these pieces were ever made, and they rarely appear at auctions. So I think the estimate of 100 to 200 is right on line. Christie's is auctioning 230 units on Monday, and they have a few very interesting pieces. lot 40 is a platinum 5016, and lot 41 is a rose gold 5016. Again, very cool, perpetual calendar, minute repeater, just amazing pieces, high complications. I'm curious to see where these go. They've been soft for the last few years. I'll be curious to see if they bounce back a little bit. So lots 92 to 95 are 4 great examples of the Cartier CP collection. Now, over the past 6 months, we've seen great interest in these collections. We've seen great stories by A Collected Man, by Hodinkee. Everybody seems to be jumping on and understanding these awesome pieces that were kind of under the radar for a number of years. I'm looking at lot number 93, has a very low estimate, 10 to 18,000. I think this will go over 50. This movement was made by a company called THA, founded in 1996 by Vinnie Halter, Dennis Flageolet, and FP Journe. It's amazing that those 3 guys were together making this awesome movement into a Cartier watch. I think it's a great piece. I think we're seeing these prices go up almost on a daily basis. I'm curious to see how it hits. Now, lots 164 to 166 are 3 amazing rare and early Journe tourbillons. I know everybody's seen the Journe tourbillon market skyrocket. I'm curious to see if it'll hold up. I really believe it will. I think we might actually see a breakout on these pieces. And lots 178 is a very early Lange Pour Le Marie, black dial, pink gold, just an amazing piece. Again, an early Lange, super high complications, very rarely seen at auction. And the last batch we're going to talk about, so obviously Christie's has a big batch, is lots 225 to 230 are 6 repeaters, all in a row, all by Patek Philippe. I'm not sure the market are ready to absorb this many all in one time. The last time this happened and there was a lot in one sale, we saw some soft results. So I think this will be a huge benchmark for Patek market moving forward. So Sotheby's comes up on Tuesday. They have 100 lots. Lot 46, one of my favorite Patek references ever, a 3974J, perpetual repeater. Again, super rare piece. Great to see that piece in the sale. I'm really curious to see what that benchmarks. Lot 49 is a 15202, but not your traditional 15202. So this is a platinum bezel piece. It's probably one of the rarest of the 15202s. With this being discontinued, I think this one's going to go through the roof as well. So lot 56 is an early Journe Octa brass movement. The Octa family has kind of been overlooked the last couple of years. I think this particular brass movement piece is going to set a new level for this collection. Now lot 61, a Vacheron jumping hour. I know no one else is looking at this watch. I love these specialty movements that Vacheron used to do. I think this is a sleeper. I expect this to break 20,000. And the last lot we're going to talk about is another 5013J. Now this has a relatively low estimate, 220 to 300. I think this could be a value buy because it's going to be one of the last pieces sold over the weekend. We're going to have a whole bunch of repeaters selling the day before. So I think the market could soften up by Tuesdays. It's one I'll be following closely. So now the last auction we're going to talk about is Phillips. Now Phillips has been taking the lead in the watch market for the last 18 months. They have 236 units coming up, and just some amazing pieces. Now the first one is lot 11. It's an Octa subscription piece. They made 20 pieces. Again, this is a collection that I think is going to go through the roof. This will be the best one ever to hit the market. I think this is going to go really big. Now lot 56 and 57 are 2 more great examples of the CP collection. I don't think we've ever seen this many hit the market at one time, but I think that Montpassoir THA movement is going to definitely double or triple the estimate. Now lot 89 is a very interesting piece. It's the original Montpassoir. It's from the early 30s. It's a classic Cartier. Very few of these examples exist. It's got an estimate of 150 to 200. Again, I think this one's going to go big. Now lot 146 is another very interesting watch, and it's the first de Bethune we're going to talk about. The reason I'm interested in this is using the exact same movement that Cartier Montpassoir is using. Again, made by Journe and Vinnie Halter and Denny, who of course is de Bethune. This is a one-of piece. It's the same movement as the Cartier. It's got an estimate of about half the price. I think this is a piece you're going to watch closely. I think this could bring big numbers as well. Now lot 193 is my favorite Lange. Datograph up-down luminous. I love this piece. They only made 200 of them. They had one at the auction last year. I underbidded it, closed at 140,000. I think this one could get close to 200. It's a big move, but Lange market has been moving up. Lumens have especially been moving up. This is one, again, we're following closely to track this market. Now, the most significant pieces in this Phillips sale are the 2499s. Now, there were only 349 2499s ever made in every metal and dial combination. To see 4 in one sale, one from each series, especially a first series yellow gold, a second series rose gold, this is just an amazing collection. I've never seen 2499s hit in this number. Phillips always does a great job of setting the benchmark. I think you're going to see 2499s really set the level. It could really set the tone for Patek for the rest of the year. We've seen a lot more traction in Patek. This 2499 could be a benchmark series that we see sell. So what will these auctions mean to the market? So first of all, we will be watching Journe very closely. We want to see how they perform. We've seen a big run up in Journe prices over the last year, year and a half. Now we will see if the market's absorbing these prices or if maybe we even go to another level. I think it's very possible. So I think the most interesting thing that's going to come out of this weekend is it's really a make or break session for Patek Philippe, especially the minute repeaters. We haven't seen this many hit the market at one time. It's one of the most iconic collections for Patek, and we're really going to see if Patek comes back to taking the lead in auctions and really these minute repeaters start getting back to levels where we used to see them years ago. And the last thing we're really watching this weekend is Cartier. Now, it's odd to talk about. We never really talk about Cartier, but this CP collections that are all hitting the market with new interest, with new study following the brand. I think you're going to see a number of the models, even not the Tortue Montperçois, really set new highs, and I think this could be the next huge collection that starts hitting the market. So we'll be spending a lot of time this weekend tracking the sales, and next week we'll be reviewing the results. Also, keep in mind, we'll be dropping Global Market Wrap tomorrow on Sunday. We'll be wrapping up Watches and Wonders. And we hope to see you back here again next week.